Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Mezco 112 Collective Mezco Direct Exclusive Spider-Man 2099. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure comes in a standard box with a really great comic book-like image of Spider-Man 2099 on the front and the back. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at this new Mezco Spider-Man 2099. Now I love this piece, man. Spidey 2099 was always one of my favorites. I loved the books back then, and you saw the artwork on the box and stuff. He was just such a cool character, very unique, very different, so freaking 90s, and I loved it so much. And I think Mezco did a really good job with this. One thing I will say, I've seen a lot of people talk about they don't like the material used for the suit here. I don't see why. I think it's actually really good. It's going to be almost hard to really get Spider-Man in any type of these older suits not look like he's wearing PJs. You know, that's just the natural thing we're going to see when it comes to soft goods figures like this. But I think they did a great job. Now the head sculpt, I think looks so good. I'm gonna darken it up here a little bit, but again, you can see the texturing on the suit itself, like the mask right there, that carries on to the actual fabric, which is really cool. It's a pretty nice blend, but I also love how the sculpting of the red around the eyes just looks so good, and you can almost like see the actual face sculpted underneath that. His expression through that looking really good, man. I love the high gloss of the red too. Throughout the suit looks really nice. I love again how they kind of Mezco fight it a little bit, where you can see the little red lining throughout the suit looking really good. But I love how they do this crazy cool printing technique on the suit with that skull spider just looking really rad, all the way down to his arm fins looking really good. Same thing with the hands. If you turn the palms on the inside, you can see some really nice red in there looking good too. Some really nice crisp detail in that. I will say that with these fins here, they're very pointy, so you can stab yourself, so just be very careful. But also when you're posing him around, these feel a little fragile, a little just kind of brittle, so just be very careful. You don't want to snap those off. But the suit going all the way down looks really good too. Again, the bottom of the feet look really nice, again with that detail on there. You got the back like so. We do get a little fabric cape like this, a little web cape. It's very tiny. I wish this was a little better. This is probably going to be my biggest complaint right here. This just does not look as good as I would hope. It does have little bendy wires on the sides right there, so you can kind of like pose it around and stuff. So that is something I kind of wish would have just been different. But still, it all looks really good. Luckily, it's in the back. And yeah, man, that thing just looks so freaking badass. I'm just very, very happy with this. So moving on to the accessories here, we do get that awesome Mezco stand with a great comic book image of Spidey 29 like that, so that looks good. And of course, the clear articulated arm. We get all kinds of different interchangeable hands, open palm hands, more like clawed-like hands, just different types of wall-crawling hands, palms with the fingers a little more curled in. We get web swinging hands like so. We get closed-fisted hands, so everything you're going to need here. Now we also do get a lot of the same web effects we've seen with previous Spider-Man figures. So we get this one with a tiny little cone at the tip like that, one with a little more flared out like so, one with more of like a straight thump at the end like that, so that looks really good too. And then one of my favorites is one with a spread out a little more like that. Now we've seen, again, the exact same accessories we've seen before, done in that really nice pearlescent white, so when you see those in hand, they'll look really, really good. Certain hands do have the little divot right here on the back of the palm, so how that's going to work, you're going to take the little hoop right there and fit that in like that, and then you can go ahead and plug them in to the wrist peg like so, and that is how he will shoot his web. So that works out pretty good. Again, we've seen it before, we've seen all these accessories before, and they work the exact same way, just like the previous Spider-Man figures. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that we get this giant web splatter effect too, which is really nice, dude. Again, the sculpting just looks really good. You could kind of see that more pearlescent effect to it, which I think is really nice. And this thing is pretty huge, so if I put the figure in front of it, you can see how big it exactly is. So I really dig this a lot. We also do get this face webbed effect piece, which is really cool. So you can take any type of figure, so like have a Marvel Legends Deadpool right here, kind of just slide that on over the head, and then it looks like he's been webbed on the face, which I think is cool. Again, done in that pearlescent white, so I love that, man. That's a really fun accessory for taking pictures and things like that, so I love that a lot. We also do get his spider comm here looking really good too. You got the little spider logo done in the red and blue like that, done in this really nice gunmetal, looking really awesome. So that's really nice too. But easily, oh man, he comes with one with a little projection of Lila there, looking super cool. I love that they even did that. So again, you're just gonna take a hand off and it'll fit right over the wrist like so, like that. And then we can just put any other hand back on. I'll just put like a closed-fisted hand back on like so, and then you could project Lila like that, man. That's really cool, and to be honest with you, a little depressing, but I think that's beautiful. And then the last accessories that we do get are interchangeable heads. So you got the standard one right here with the full cowl down like that. We have this great head right there with a cowl pulled up over the nose and mouth and yelling. I think that looks awesome. Such a great look for some great action poses, and that's just a ton of fun. And then of course we do get a standard unmasked head, which I think looks great as well, man. And I love the way the hair looks. The eyes and the brow all look really good. This is a fantastic accessory. And I love the fact that they included just 3 different versions that you can have here like that, which is super cool. So I really dig what Mezco did with this. Okay, so now moving on to articulation. Now I know this is something that a lot of people are going to be curious about. It does not utilize the same buck that we've seen with the older Spider-Man figures, so that's really good. And you'll see some comparisons later on here. But the head and the neck are on double ball pegs, so that rolls around very, very nicely. It does turn left and right. Up about that far, like so, down about that much, and then pivot side to side. Arms can go all the way up and down, up and out to the side, all the way up that far, so that's really good. Does feel like there is a butterfly joint in there, so that actually works out nicely. Rotation at the bicep, we get double jointed elbows, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a double ball peg in the midsection that goes down into the crotch and then up into his chest. So that rolls around, does rotate left and right, pivot side to side, crunches back about that far, crunch forward all the way that far. Hip joints can kick up and forward that far. That's really good. Back, not so much. Splits out about that far. Rotation, upper thigh, double jointed knees. He could barely touch his own butt, so that's pretty good. Then the ankles are on ball pegs. Those roll around, up and down, and a pretty sweet ankle rocker. So overall, I think they did an incredible job with this. Again, I think my only real complaint is going to be the little web cape on the back. I think they could have done better with that. It's just a little goofy, and I don't know, I just don't really like the material. But the fabric of the suit itself, I think, is so awesome, man. I actually kind of wish it would have been a little more metallic. That probably would have been better for me, but still, I think he's just so dope. I'm so happy that we got Spidey 2099 in the line, and I hope we can continue with other comic book versions of Spidey, because if Mezco makes any of them, I will buy every last one of them. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, Here he is standing next to the Mezco 112 Collective Classic Spider-Man and Black Suit Spider-Man. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Spider-Man 2099. Now, overall, I think this is a really great piece. There are things that I do wish that could be better. Like I said, I do not really like the cape all that much. It's not terrible. I just think they could have probably done a little better, maybe a different type of material. But I do love the fact that it has a little bendy wire on the inside so you can pose it around a little bit. So that works out pretty good. I also kind of do wish they would have made the suit a little more of a metallic type material. I think that would have been really cool. I don't have a problem with the material used like I hear some people having. I think it actually does look really good. I love how they blended the texture of the fabric with the molded plastic. I think that all looks really nice and uniform. The colors just really stand out to me. The blue looks so good, and that red, that really polished red on the fabric and the sculpted pieces like the head and the arm fins look so nice in hand, and especially under the lights. The articulation works very well. Again, it is a different body than some of the previous Spider-Man figures that we've seen from those earlier releases. So hopefully moving forward, this is going to be a new buck with future Spider-Man figures, which I'm all for. Again, I want every comic book and MCU version of Spidey that we can get in this line, possibly. Hopefully we can get maybe the white suit Spider-Man 2099 in this line. I think that would be awesome because that thing is a little more armored up. And I also do believe that Mezco is at their best when they blend fabric with like plastic armor. I think that's always the best look for their figures. So I love this piece, man. All the interchangeable hands, the web effects are cool. I do wish we got more newer, different web effects than we've seen in the past, but they're still really well done. The interchangeable heads are great. The little hologram piece on the watch is so beautiful. I love that. But this is such a fun figure, man. He's so awesome. He's just so great. Again, my favorite Spider-Man figure, or my favorite Spider-Man character, I should say. But I'm so glad he's finally in the line, and he is definitely a must-get. So be excellent to each other, and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.